Yes.
There's a little bit of your Wilson there.
Little bit there, but
Yeah.
I got a bit of an audio Tourist and I have come up with. So there was a I don't know whether he was a Parramatta supporter or he was a Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs supporter, but he was picked up on the effects mic. I got my spies at Fox, you know how I've got some spies in there, and we picked this up on the effects mic. We don't know who he was, but he was giving it to poor old Blake. Have a listen to this.
Come on, Wilson, you wimp! Get into it, Wilson! Oh, you're a wimp, Wilson! You're useless, Wilson! Come on, Wilson! You're useless wimp! What do you come here for? You win, Wilson, give it to him!
That's what he's saying. Really? And so our man, Wilson, he just obviously just thought, you know what, enough's enough, and he just went berserk.
Yep, don't poke the bear.
Don't do that, whoever that was. If it was a Parramatta supporter, hang your head in shame.
Don't poke the bear. Now, this is the ladder, Brian, as it stands. Melbourne Storm, the Sharkies. They're 2 points clear of Penrith, who's 2 points clear of the Dolphins and the Raiders. So the Dolphins and the Raiders are just sort of cheekily hanging around up there. Roosters on 16, Bulldogs on 16 and 7th, and the Bronx on 16. So there's a few that have to get a wriggle on, including the Cowboys, the Seagulls, the Warriors, the Dragons just on the fringe there, which is a massive game for them. This week against Manly. That's a massive, massive game, maybe a season-defining game. Let's talk about the one yesterday. What a great crowd it was on the King's birthday. The Bulldogs get their 7th win for 2024. They equal their win tally from 2023. They remain undefeated at home, just short of 46,000 in attendance, which is the biggest regular season crowd for the Bulldogs versus Eels. They lost Curran and Hayward in the first half to HIAs. They've got the bye, which is going to help. Stephen Crichton was wearing a cape, 2 tries and a try assist. And I want to just play some audio for you, Brian. This is Clint Gutherson.
I think it's all in here on the short kickoff.
Regardless of your opinion as captain, do not speak to me like that when you ask for the answer.
There we go.
That is not acceptable.
Okay, so he teed off at referee Peter Goff. And I listened to a bit of Jimmy's show earlier on today as well. And I do agree with Jimmy as to, and a lot of the listeners were texting in, Jim, saying a referee doesn't make decisions based on what was sort of influenced beforehand. But I do agree with James where he says sometimes a referee's got to make a call, and then they just don't know. It might be 50-50 or whatever the case may be. Gutho gave him, not just did he give him a bake, he's putting the kick down. Scant regard was shown for him. Now, I've got no doubt that Clint Gutherson, the reason he's so good is because of how bloody competitive he is. Yeah. He's so competitive, which makes him so good. But he was unhealthily competitive here, where I'll take you to a little book, Brian, called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie.
Yes.
Okay, here's one of the chapters. Yep. How to win people to your way of thinking. Number 1, the only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Wrong. He didn't get that right. Number 2, show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. He did that. Number 3, if you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Now, that'll come out today. He said that Graham Annesley, he'll come out on Monday, say that you're wrong. Well, what if he's not? He needs to come out emphatically and quickly and say that he was wrong in the event that he is. Begin in a friendly way. That didn't happen, Brian. Get the other person to say yes immediately. Didn't happen. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking.
Yep.
Failed that. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. And try honestly to see things from their perspective.
Yes. No, well, him and Mitchy Moses, they're quite animated, aren't they?
Yes.
Like, after something goes wrong, but I can see that he was just frustrated.
I get that.
He does have that in his game. I will admit that. He has got that in his game where if something does go awry, it's very hard for him to keep his emotions in check. So
then my question about that would be, what happens at training if things don't go his way? Like that, I've played with players like that, and I don't. It's something he needs to work on, honestly. And say that Peter Goff, say they got a game to keep in the season, and I don't at all. As Jimmy said, the same thing. I don't cast any aspersions that Peter Goff would purposely go against Clint Gutherson. But
the next time,
if it's just so unclear and you've got this guy chirping at you, it is human to want to side the other way.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I do agree with that. Even if you don't subconsciously, because we've all played in. I've had referees where they get sort of Bill Harrigan when I was playing was sometimes quite hard to deal with.
Yep.
Are you suggesting he should have a sit down with Mr. Goff, referee Goff?
I think he should sit down and read Dale Carnegie's finest work,
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, it is creeping into his game.
But and we are going to hear, what time's Graham going to post his chat? But Gutho's come out and said he'll say he's wrong, which I think, and I don't have the proper context to it, so I can't say whether he is or isn't, but I believe the
issue was that when Blake Wilson went
out, which he was pushed out anyway.
Yeah, and then came back in, caught the ball, which is fine. You're allowed to do that.
That's fine, right?
Yeah.
So if he's wrong, he needs to come out earnestly and openly and publicly and say, I got it wrong.
Yep.
You know,
well, if you look at captains who handle themselves pretty good, and this is why everyone thought he was another referee, was Cameron Smith.
Yep.
Every time Cameron Smith, what you just explained there, he would just ask a question to the referee.
Correct.
And then would say, oh, okay. He never raised his voice.
Yep.
But he did also play 450 games. Maybe he'll learn from this. Let's hope he does learn from this.
Well, I agree with Jimmy. There was a play where Wilson,
Sorry, who?
Wilson. He got the ball. I felt like he stripped it. That very next set. Did you feel like he stripped it?
With Russell
on the left-hand side.
Yeah, loose carry.
It was a loose carry, but I felt like Blake had stripped it, and therefore the call actually went Canterbury's way.
Correct.
You never know. You never know. Dale Carnegie, read the book. Everyone should be reading the book. 1300-01-1170, one of the world's best sellers of all time. Dragons, what the hell happened here, Brian? 56 points to 14, smashed the West Tigers.
Yeah.
This is fascinating around the Zach Lomax talk. He's never played better in his life. And now he wants he's never played better under a coach such as Shane Flanagan, who's got him in this position. He's playing on the wing where Shane Flanagan thought would get the best out of him. He killed it in State of Origin. He's come back from State of Origin, had his best ever game, 10 from 10 with the boot, 32 points. And now he wants to leave that scenario to not play wing and to get less money.
Yep. I don't,
Riddle me that.
It's just, I think it's got to do with the number. I really do. You know, some players just want to.
Really?
I that's what I believe. I think he thinks, because it was in the old days, and we used to make jokes about wingers saying, you
Stigma.
got number two, you know. I honestly believe it's a number thing.
Wow.
But you can't disagree with what's happened with the facts of what he's done. Like, he's a new player.
Yep.
He's played Origin. He brained it in Origin.
Yes, he's an elite player now.
He was close to our best player.
He was.
Okay, if Mal Meninga, if Australian team was picked tomorrow, he would be on the wing, I would say.
He'd be very close.
Don't you think so?
He'd be close. Well, Brian Tott would be one of them. Then take your pick. I thought he was the best winger in State of Origin, number one.
But for whatever reason, he didn't like playing wing. But it might, after this stellar year, especially when he's a moral now to get Dalian Winger of the Year, don't you think?
Oh, give it to him now. Yeah, bloody oath. We're going to announce our halfway of the season team of the year so far very, very shortly. 9 straight losses now for the West Tigers. This is a big game this week because you get Caesar back from suspension. They miss him. They miss him. You get him back. You're back at Leichhardt Oval. You've got to find a way. They just have to find a way. Panthers 32.
Now, just going back to the Tigers, do you believe the Galvin story that he was walking around saying, I want to get out of this team?
Oh.
Because the story was that after the Dragons game, he said, I can't stand this. I've got to get out. I have a couple of issues with it. One, no other club wanted you.
Yep.
Tigers took a gamble on you.
Yep.
Signed you as an 18-year-old. Benji came out and backed him publicly.
Yep.
The kid's played 14 games in first grade.
Yep.
I think he owes them a lot because he wouldn't be playing first grade anywhere else.
No, I agree with that. And I also understand that he's quite a very, very confident kid.
Okay, well,
super
he might be
confident
confident, but if I'm looking at a player of his ability, and I'll be thinking now I'd be starting to question, oh, geez, he wants out. When times get a bit tough, what about if we sign him and times get a bit tough? Does that mean he's going to bail? I think he should. I mean, he's only 18.
Yeah.
So he's got the future ahead of him. Sometimes you can go. Adversity brings the best out of you.
Yep.
So if he signs and just gets through his contract, he's got a 2-year deal.
Yep.
Just finish your contract. See what happens in the next 2 years. You're still 20.
Yep.
You can move on if you're not happy. But I think sometimes he wants all this, and I think it's a problem with young people now. They all want a quick fix.
Yeah, no patience.
He might got an offer. Maybe a Roosters came or a South Sydney came or something said, listen, you've got to get out of there. I feel that he should just finish his contract there.
Yep.
And in 2 years' time, he might be a little bit more mature. The Tigers might be going better. I just don't. I think it's a bad look when you're an 18-year-old kid and you've only been there 14 games.
Now, I agree with that. If what we're hearing is true, absolutely. This kid, we've got a replay on Foxy, Lob, looks all right too.
Yeah.
The key really is obviously him, but you got Buller locked up there for a while, and he's class.
You got Jerome coming. You got Taruva coming next year.
Yep.
Would you think about? I was trying to think about. Could you move? I know Jerome's going well at fullback. Put him in the centres.
Could easily.
Taruva at the back.
Easily.
Because Taruva played really good for Fiji.
Yep.
But my advice for Lockie, for what it's worth, just stick it out.
Yep.
Because that would show a lot of clubs and a lot of people to say, right, well, I know that Tigers are struggling, but at least this kid's aiming up every week.
And don't just stick it out. Come out on the front foot and say it.
Yeah.
You know, this club's backed me. I'm backing them. I've signed the deal, and myself, my management, and my family at the time thought it was the right deal for me. So I'm gonna honour that.
For only 14 games of a first grade, and whether it's him, I doubt whether it's him or could have been his management. But I can't see an 18-year-old kid walking around after the dressing room after getting pumped going. Like, he should just be lucky that he's playing first grade at this young age. Because Benji came out. I remember when Benji said it. He goes, he's trained well all off-season. I see a little bit of me in him, so I'm going to give him a shot.
Yep.
Now to throw it in Benji's face, I think it's pretty ordinary.
Yep. No, I agree with that. Have you say 1300 01 1170. Stefano's the big one too. What have they offered? 5 years for $4 million. Now, his scenario is a little bit different because he's been there and had many losses, and maybe he's had a gut full of it. In State of Origin contention last year, no longer at this stage anyway, is the case. The Panthers 32 defeat the Seagulls 12 as we go to the break. 4 tries for Tommy Talau and get beat. How does that happen?
I know, it was good though.
How does that happen?
Great
How do you
game.
score 4 and get beat? That was the case. What about me, Brian? Best bet of the week was Manly plus 9.5.
Oh,
They kicked 1 from 5.
Bezed's bad beat.
Oh, BBB.
Yeah, Ruben's usually pretty good, isn't he?
1 from 5.
The sandwich usually nails him
I
from
know,
everywhere.
I know. Breaking back with more. Welcome back to the Run Home with Joel and Fletch for the Tradie Hour. Get comfortable results with bluestarac.com.au. And, of course, we're here for Blunston and Hyundai. Sharkies back in the winner's circle. Brian, didn't they need that one? Royce Hunt was on fire.
What had happened at half time?
Yeah.
Fitzy just gave him the rounds of the kitchen.
Yep.
And he, albeit Brisbane had no Haas and no Carrigan, they were off at the same time. That's when they did all the damage. I think it was a bit too late. But, yeah, Royce Hunt. Hammond Ueli, is he still... Is it the calf?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him.
They're the total opposite to Canterbury in the sense they're forward pack.
Yeah.
I was watching Canterbury yesterday. Geez, they do well for they got a small pack, but they play really like the way the forwards especially support each other.
Yep.
That's one.
A very agile side.
Yeah, so maybe it's not a bad thing having a few utilities floating around.
Warriors, are they back 42
They're back, baby.
to 12? And are we dead set penning the Cows?
Cows have got Cows can't defend.
They've got as many Origin players as anyone.
I mean, Val. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he was doing defensively on the weekend. Like, Mad should be looking at what the Warriors did to Val. Val missed about 4 or 5 tackles, led to about 2 or 3 tries.
Tamari Martin against the Old Firm. Of course, he played the grand final for the Cowboys. 4 tries, assists. Melbourne Storm, a little bit flaky against the Knights, Brian.
Yeah, just did enough, didn't they? I know Bellyache wasn't happy with them, but Newcastle were really good.
Yeah.
What happened with our man Armstrong? Did he get dropped or was he injured?
Injured, I believe. Yeah, he's injured as well. So the young fella came in, Fletcher Sharp, scores on debut. We like that. Gagai was superb, and so too Tyron Wishart. Latrell Mitchell, 1 try, 3 try assists. Cody Walker, 2 tries, 1 try assist. It was defence optional in that game, 46-12. The Bunnies, they get another win. Is he in your team, Brian?
Well, it was in our first team. He was in our team in Origin 1, I remember.
Yep.
Left centre, you'll put Crichton on the hammer.
Yep. There's
a spot opened up. Burton, Latrell. You would say Latrell.
Depends what you want to do with your halves. If Burton's not... I think Burton's got to be in the team at left centre or 5'8". Have you say. 1300 01 1170. The Tradie Hour. Get comfortable results with bluestarac.com.au.